Bow wow wow bow dun 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 do dun 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 wow 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 bow dun dun wow 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 wow. Yo, what's up, guys? The Insane Game Freak here to bring you another nostalgia rush. Hopefully there's nothing in my hair. Let's go check, actually. Back up, look at the camera. No, back up. Okay, we're good. Anyway, I did that because I've actually recorded this, this is the second time I've recorded it. Once again, another YouTube frustration when you don't realize there's something in your head. It was in my head, and I think I did that for the Sengoku Basara review, so I didn't want to do it again. So anyways, this time the nostalgia rush is on Rugrats. And just a side note, they say at the beginning of the video, so I don't have to repeat it, plus so people will actually see it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the nostalgia rushes be more involved, because they're such easy videos to make, because literally all it is just reminiscing on the show itself. And I know there's a hell of a lot of you who are 90s cartoon fans. I am going to permit, do collab-ish type of videos, meaning that I will have, I'll probably have a list of shows, or people can PM me shows, and those shows that they PM me, they have the opportunity to jump in on. Like for example, I say the next few ones are probably going to be Danny Phantom. I already have people for that. Rocko's Modern Life I'm doing, Dexter's Lab I'm doing, Angry Beavers. I'm just going off the top of my head here. Cow and Chicken and shit like that. People can kind of jump in on those. Essentially I'm going to make those calls, Skype calls, and I'm going to record them. And at the very most, there's only going to be 2 people in there, because I don't want to have to work with 3 different fucking 90 different schedules and shit. So 2 people per thing. So if for example, let's say I'm doing Dexter's Lab next, then 2 people need to PM me saying they want to be in that, and then we'll set up a time and schedule when I can do that, and so people can jump in on those. So that's there. I'll probably put a official list in the description, so you guys know which shows I'm doing next, because I'm doing this off the top of my head right now, and I need to stop clapping for no fucking reason. And we'll take it from there. But essentially, at the very most, it will be 3 people in the call. Me and 2 other people. At the very most, because I don't want clusterfuck. And we will reminisce about the 90 cartoon shows that are fucking awesome. I don't want the videos to be too fucking long either, because if you have 6 people giving their opinions and histories with the show, you got a 6-hour conversation about bullshit. I don't give a fuck how many subscribers you have. That has nothing to do with it. If you really love that show and you want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Eddie and Eddie, that's the other 2 ones that just popped into my brain. Anyways, enough with that, as long as you guys know from the beginning. And now we shall jump in to the Rugrats. Now, the Rugrats to me, even though technically it's not, felt like the poster child for Nickelodeon in general. Because it's the one show that if you watch Nickelodeon, you know of. It's that one show that regardless of what you liked or hated, you know of the fucking Rugrats. And it's one of the few Nickelodeon shows to get 3 goddamn movies. Unfortunately, it didn't get a perfect trilogy because the last one kind of sucks. Nothing against the Wild Thornberrys. Well, no, it's kind of, I don't know, the 3rd movie just didn't really work as well, considering how good the first 2 movies are. Now, for those who don't know what the premise of the Rugrats is, the premise of the Rugrats is essentially you have 5 babies, and you're kind of just watching them be babies. Which, in premise, it doesn't even sound interesting, because you got Tommy, Phil, and Lil, and Chuckie, and then later seasons you had Dale, and then you got Kimmy, which is Chuckie's, adopted sister, I guess is the best way to put it, or, his half-sister in a sense. And then also you had, the older kids, which were, Angelica and Susie, and then Harold later. Yes, I am one of the few people who did watch All Grown Up too. I think a lot of people get that show a lot of slack. It's not that bad of a show, really. I think a lot of people just were ruined, scared, shitless, because Rugrats went for 10 seasons or some shit. And All Grown Up only went for a few, 3 or 4, I think. I don't even think it went that far. No, it went past, I know it went past 2, so probably 3 or 4 seasons. All Grown Up is not that bad. In all honesty, it's not. It really isn't. So Rugrats, what do I like about the show? I really like the fact that, you know, for one, I like the fact that the parents are actually relative in the story. Like, you know, I know most of the parents' names. Like, Stu, Dee Dee are Tommy's parents. Betty is very... I think Harold is also the name of Phil and Lil's dad. Chaz, Kidda, which are Chuckie and Kimmy's parents. Charlotte, Drew, which are Angelica's parents. I also like the fact that Angelica and Tommy are cousins. I kind of like how they had the little family thing in there. Grandpa's just called Grandpa. I know he has an actual name. I just forget what it is. Who am I missing? I don't remember Susie's parents' names because her parents, like, I know her mother is like a doctor, and I don't know what her father does. Like, that's and that kind of gets into the whole thing. I like how Rugrats is one of the few shows that actually has a black character who's like the best character in the damn series for all intents and purposes, because she's like the smart one. Because she's always making Angelica look like a bitch, and it's just kind of funny. Ironically, though, she still is the character who's seen the least out of all the characters. Thought that was kind of fucked up. It's like, even when you make a good black character, we still gotta fucking... And I don't want to bring the race thing up, but it's one of those things as a black person I'm gonna notice. Tommy, the adventurous type, I don't know. My favorite was always Chuckie, because it's kind of like that whole Krillin mentality with Dragon Ball Z. I respect Chuckie more because he's a character who's actively afraid of everything, and like, he still ends up doing half of the shit that most people wouldn't do. Like, Chuckie is a coward for all intents and purposes, and you can relate to him more because half of the fears he has, even though some of them are over dramatic size as all fuck, you can relate to. Like, there are people who are afraid of clowns. People who are afraid... that whole potty training thing was the other thing that kind of freaked me out. And some of those fears are legitimate, like the whole fear of going under your bed. I had that fear. That was something I related to. I think Tommy and Chuckie had that problem, though, which was like one of the few times you ever see Tommy scared. Chuckie's just that dude I love. Like, Chuckie is my favorite character, period. Like, I love Chuckie. Chuckie's my boy. Who the fuck is texting me? Chuckie's my boy. Like, Chuckie's literally my favorite character when it comes to Rugrats in general. In terms of the parents, I probably like Tommy's. I don't know, and I kind of like the thing with Chuckie's dad too. Like, the whole thing with his you know, Chuckie's mom being dead, even though there have been like scenes, like some dude actually made a video that points out in like some of the first few episodes of the Rugrats, you can technically see Chuckie's mom, and like they didn't decide, which proves that they didn't decide to make Chuckie's mom dead until like later seasons. I really enjoyed the mom concept with Chuckie, and just, I don't know, I really like that character. I even like, and I like the whole creativity and imagination thing. Like how every episode is like random shit. They're just like, they're usually just doing basic things, like either going into a store or hanging out at the house or in the backyard. Like, they're not going to these extravagant places, but you still have episodes when they're like in the jungle or they're fucking climbing a mountain or playing cowboys and I'm so ready to say like cowboys and aliens, but like they had like a whole bunch of different themed episodes because of the whole childlike imagination, how they couldn't say words properly and they misunderstood the meanings of things. It was ridiculous. I also like how the movies are canon, and oh my god, the movies. I actually probably can say that Rugrats has like some of the best movies in Nickelodeon, like cartoons in general. Actually, yeah, they do have the best movies. And they have one of the few movies that actually aired in theaters. I think the first movie is G. I love the second movie. The second movie was great because it fucking mixed cultures. They delved in some issues. And I love how the movies are canon. And what I mean by canon is that Dill's first appearance is technically... I even like how the episodes lead into the movies. Like Dee was pregnant in like the episodes before Dill was born. And then the movie came out. And then, like, all the later episodes had Dill in it. And the same thing for, like, Kimmy and Kidda. Like, Kimmy and Kidda are introduced in, like, Rugrats in Paris. And they're actually in the damn show for the rest of Rugrats in general. I thought... And people are like, well, why are the Rugrats movies so great? Honestly, I think that's, like, some of my favorite shit about the series. I think really, the fucking movies kind of capture exactly what I love about the series. the ridiculousness of it, the creativity of it, and the deepness the shit got. Because, like, the first movies revolved around Tommy, and the second movies revolved around Chuckie. The first movies revolved around Tommy because you have character development for... Tommy's like 1. No. Yeah, Tommy's like... No, Tommy's 2. Chuckie's 3. And Angelica and Susie are 4. Because I remember Chuckie's technically the oldest out of his little group. And I think Dale's like 1. So Dale's 1. Chuckie is 3. And Tommy is 2, and Phil and Lil are 2, and Angelica and Susie are 4. I think Harold's 4 too, but he doesn't fucking count because he appears so goddamn late in the series. I love the first movie because the first movie was like unnecessarily dark. Not even unnecessarily dark, but more of it was surprisingly dark. Like the moments, what was it? They were in the rain, and Tommy had like literally lost his friends for protecting Dale, and Dale was still being a dick. And this motherfucker was so tempted to like pour the... it's not even like a deep scene when you look at it on premise, but if you see it and you know the Rugrats and you know who Tommy is as a character, that is kind of fucked up to see Tommy so close to saying fuck his little brother. And that was great. I loved it. I didn't expect that kind of development in a children's film, especially centering around babies. They're trapped in the forest fucking being attacked by monkeys and wolves and shit. Like, you don't expect that out of a Rugrats movie. And then the second movie... Oh, God, the second movie. I love Kimmy. I love Kidda. I love that whole thing with Chuckie. That whole mother thing was great. And I even like how they actually did, like, show Chuckie's mom, his original mom in the cartoon. It was the Mother's Day episode. I remember that because, like, everyone was doing shit for Mother's Day, but obviously since Chuckie doesn't have a mom, he decided, oh, why don't I give something to my dad? And he accidentally finds, like, Chaz's, and I like that whole thing with Chaz. Like, he had that whole development issue with not letting Chuckie's mom go, and he didn't want to share it with Chuckie because he was afraid that, Chuckie, like, that was such a great moment to me. That's why I love Chuckie. Chuckie did that whole thing with his mom, and just him in general as a character is just, I respect that nigga. Like, that's my boy. Fuck, like, Tommy's cool. Tommy is cool. Chuckie's my boy. Like, period. In terms of, like, and I'm kind of raving about more of the movies in the show. Some of my favorite episodes are probably when they get trapped in the store. Actually, what was the... I don't remember the premise. There's a lot of store episodes, but there's one in particular where they're running through different sections of the store. And I don't remember the reasoning, but I remember liking that shit so much for, like, the dumbest reason. Or the switching of the shoes. That... fuck with me. What I'm talking about is that Angelica implanted this bullshit ass idea that if you switch shoes with somebody, you take on their personality. And so, like, I think Chuckie put on Angelica's shoes and acted like a dick, whereas Angelica put on Chuckie's shoes and acted like a shy little coward, which is like the weirdest fucking thing for Angelica. The Cooties episode was fucking ridiculous. I like how that shit turned into a war. Like, Phil thought he had died. Like, they were losing their minds. And it was like, I think a few filler babies were in there too. But just that whole concept of fucking, of like, the cootie. It's like, they're like babies. So it's weird as hell that the cootie thing is even relevant then. It's one of the few times you actually see Phil and Lil split up on something. I mean, they argue all the time, but, like, legitimately split up. Even the episodes, like, they're dedicated to them, like like when they got mad that no one can tell them apart, which honestly you can't really say anything about that. That's just something that's gonna happen. I even like some of the later Kimmy and Dale episodes. More Kimmy because I'm just a bias with Kimmy. Like, I love Rugrats and Bears. Like, literally that's one of my favorite fucking movies. Animated movies, that's really up there. Mainly because it mixed in like French and Japanese culture. The Godzilla, like the whole fight between Reptar and the Robo Snail, that was totally a Godzilla nod. You can totally see it now. I didn't see it then, but I can totally see it now. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop. Even the Lady in the Tramp reference with Fifi and Spike, that shit was G. Mind you, Spike was G, period. But even, what was the episode with Kimmy? Oh, when Chuckie was sneezing, he didn't realize he was allergic to, like, I think he was allergic to dandelion or some shit. And he thought he was allergic to Kimmy, so he kept avoiding Kimmy. Like they were like, oh, I guess we gotta send Kimmy back or some shit. And then, like, Kimmy Kimmy got on into her like little sister fit, and that shit was so cute. I am no bullshit. That was cute as hell, cause she was freaking out that Chuckie wouldn't mess with her. Because remember, Kimmy is like Tommy's age. Kimmy's like a year younger than Chuckie, and you can tell. It's so cute because Kimmy's literally Tommy, so Chuckie does the whole big brother thing. I love that. I also like how the fact that he's like the only character who, well, he's the only baby-ish character that can talk to like Chaz and Kira and like that shit. Because Angelica and Susan can talk kind of normal-ish, whereas like fucking Chuckie, he was able to say no at the end of Rugrats in Paris, and that became a thing. Like he's the only baby that can say something, even though he's only saying no, so it's not that big of a deal. But I like that progression. There's a lot of episodes I'm missing. Like almost all the Reptar episodes were G. Reptar is my nigga. Anyone who doesn't know Reptar doesn't know badass motherfucker. That's what you don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you missed out on some good shit. Because Reptar is my boy. I'm trying to think of some other episodes off the top of my head. I even like some of the stupid episodes with the adults, like how like the episode where like Dee and Phil and Dee and Betty ended up getting into a fight. So like there was like this, and even the Stu and Drew relationship was funny as hell because Stu and Drew don't get along like half the time, and it was just funny. And what's that episode with Angelica where Charlotte's like little lackey was babysitting them? And the babies, and they were just fucking, like, Angelica was making that dude lose his shit. And then, like, he lost his shit, and, like, Charlotte was there, and Charlotte was just like, nigga, get the fuck out. What was the other one? The one where, I forget the two filler characters, but they were, like, characters that wanted to have kids, and Angelica tricked the babies into thinking that the kids they wanted were, like, them. So what they ended up having is the babies ended up acting like assholes. So she went with kids and they like broke this woman down, which was like horrifying, honestly. I feel so bad for this woman. And I wanted to punch Angelica in the face. And the problem is like you hate Angelica, but you realize that she's like 4. Like when it's like, oh, I want to hit Angelica in the face, like, wait a minute, she's 4 years old. You're gonna punch a 4-year-old in the face? You know what? It's like you shouldn't do that in period. I'm trying to think of, like, I haven't really watched Rugrats in a while, but there are a lot of things that still stick out to me, and I ended up rewatching some shit because of the nostalgia rush thing. Not much, though. I rewatched the hell out of Rugrats in Paris. I'm sorry I'm gushing over that movie, but that was a great fucking movie. That and the first one, even though the first one's kind of cheesy for the fact that there's a lot of, like, musical parodies and random guest appearances, like, I think, who was her name? What is her name? I'm gonna feel, Whoopi Goldberg is in that movie for some fucking reason. There's a lot of random musical numbers that are like parodies off of other songs, like Angelica's like One Way or Another, which is obviously an actual song, but it's like relating to Cynthia. Fuck Cynthia, by the way. I know that was supposed to be a parody on like Barbie dolls. Fuck Cynthia. Cynthia's a piece of shit. I don't know why girls, like, at least Barbies look mildly okay. Cynthia looked like hell. Like, she had like 3 strands of hair while having normal hair. That is not cool at all. Even some of the Spike thing episodes were cool. Even, as I said, even another precursor is, I think, that flying machine that Stu uses in the first Rugrats movie, he actually is in the process of building in the beginning of, in the actual episodes. I know the Reptar thing is. There was a lot of build up to that fucking Paris movie. Not totally sure about the first movie. The only thing I remember is Dee Dee was actually pregnant in the episodes. I don't remember if they were building that. I even like the fact that I think Tommy and Drew are like, I know Tommy is like half Jewish because like Dee Dee's parents are like in episodes and shit, and like they have like that whole old schools feeling. You know, there's a lot of shit from Rugrats that was cool. You know. Chuckie's my boy though. Chuckie's my boy. Seriously, like no bullshit. I love that character. But I have been rambling for too much. Everything has been stated. Please list your favorite moments, episodes, and characters from the show. Leave and PM me if you want to do, like, as I said, gushing nostalgia rush videos for certain shows. I'm pretty sure the next ones will probably be Eddie and Eddie, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I already got someone for Danny Phantom. If that motherfucker gets on Skype, and yeah, Dexter's Lab, Eddie and Eddie, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and just to throw a Nickelodeon show in there. No, Doug. All right, Doug and Hey Arnold are probably gonna be on that list too. Anyways, this has been the Insane Game Freak. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for over 6,000 subscribers. Oh my god! I'm about to go watch Pokemon because I know everyone's gonna be like, "You need to watch the episode. And I need to see a review." And I'll catch you guys later. Life's a game, play to win. Peace. So I just realized Rugrats doesn't have an ending theme. I was gonna try to sing it. Fuck it. Now this just ends awkwardly. Jump cut!